with mud dried on my tires, a matchbook from a burned out motel, and a coat that smelled like fire. The church bell coughed at midnight, the black river held its tongue, and Mama's Bible on the dashboard felt heavier than a gun. Oh, the porch light knows my name, though the house won't say it loud. I left here wearing Sunday clothes, came back beneath a thundercloud. If the Lord still keeps a ledger, there's a page I can't outrun. Oh, the porch light knows my name, but it don't call me son. My brother's truck was in the driveway, rust blooming by the door, same cracked glass in the kitchen window from the fight we had before. I found his hat beside the wood stove, dust gathered in the brim, and a photograph turned face down like the room was done with him. Oh, the porch light knows my name, though the house won't say it loud. I left here wearing Sunday clothes, came back beneath a thundercloud. If the Lord still keeps a ledger, there's a page I can't outrun. Oh, the porch light knows my name, but it don't call me son. There's a raven on the fence post, there's a storm behind the pines, there's a prayer I never finished, still choking on the line. I put my hand against the doorway, felt the cold come through the grain, and I heard my mother whisper, like rain forgetting rain. Porch light knows my name, it burns yellow, thin and tired. It watched one boy leave clean as snow, and one come home through fire. If forgiveness is a river, I can't find where it runs. Oh, the porch light knows my name, but it don't call me son. I slipped out by the black river with my coat beneath my head. At dawn that little porch light was still burning for the dead. Judge Mercer on the north field, from the creek to Miller's Pine. Though the bellboys worked that red dirt since before the county line, their father died one Sunday morning with his good shirt buttoned wrong, and by Monday Mercer's signature said the Bell Farm didn't belong. Songs where the family names are crossed, ink can steal a man's inheritance, but it can't tell the dirt who's lost. Every furrow knows the footsteps, every fence recalls the palms. There's a truth the judge left hidden in a deed beneath the songs. took the train, left 6 chairs inside the farmhouse and white sheets upon the frames. Mercer planted cotton profit, built a porch of polished stone, but nothing grew along the acre where the family Bible had gone. There's a deed beneath the Psalms where the family name's a cross. Stink can steal a man's inheritance, but it can't tell the dirt who's lost. Every furrow knows the footsteps, every fence recalls the palms. There's a truth the judge left hidden in a deed beneath the Psalms. Judge lay close to dying. He called me to his room, said, "Bring the Bible from the smokehouse. Don't let daylight find it soon." Between mercy and deliverance, a second deed was pressed, signed by every bell before him, with his father as witness. Now the deed beneath the Psalms hangs inside the courthouse hall. Mercer's name is scraped from every stone, but the rain won't wash it all. The bellboys never came back home. Their mother's long since gone. Still the north field grows wild cotton, shaped like little open palms. They buried Mercer near the boundary where no church hymn could be heard. By spring his stone had tilted toward the land he said was his. The schoolhouse leans toward Miller Creek, its bell half-eaten through. Vines have covered every window where the morning sunlight grew. But when December freezes hard and frost climbs up the wall, colored marbles cross the floorboards, though no child rolls them at all. Hear the marbles under the schoolhouse, blue and green beneath the pine. One for every truth they swallowed, one for every crooked line. You can lock the door till springtime, you can tear the bell rope down, but the marbles under the schoolhouse keep rolling toward the town. In 1950, Tommy Walker came to class with patched up knees. His father died along the railroad. His mother cleaned for families. When the teachers watched when missing, every finger pointed low. She searched his coat and found the silver someone else had hidden there. Hear the marbles under the schoolhouse, blue and green beneath the pine. One for every truth they swallowed, one for every crooked line. You can lock the door till springtime, you can tear the bell rope down, but the marbles under the schoolhouse keep rolling toward the town. through snowfall, with no coat against the cold. By dusk they found his books near Miller Creek, but never found the boy. 40 years beneath the floorboard, she kept one note beneath the slate. Thomas never took the watch, my own son made the claim. Now the marbles leave the schoolhouse, cross the bridge at 9:30. Blue and green beneath the moonlight, rolling in a single line. They stop outside the teacher's headstone, then circle slowly round, and the smallest marble whispers what the living wouldn't sound. Last winter, Miller Creek froze over, and one child crossed it home. At sunrise every marble vanished, except one on her stone. Took the lower pasture and the bridge to Harlan Road, left a dead mule in the orchard and our hymn book in the mud. Daddy nailed a line above us, dated 1989. Said water tells the truth, girl, it remembers every crime. There's a flood mark on the wall, 6 feet high and running brown. Mama painted over everything, but that line kept bleeding down. You can move the chairs and pictures, you can swear the past is gone, but the river leaves a witness in the timber of a home. I was 17 that August when the sheriff crossed our field with my father's silver pocket watch and a warrant never sealed. Mama stood beside the screen door, held her apron like a shield. Daddy vanished past the cotton rows, and the river kept him still. There's a flood mark on the wall, 6 feet high and running brown. Mama painted over everything, but that line kept bleeding down. You can move the chairs and pictures, you can swear the past is gone, but the river leaves a witness in the timber of a home. Last night thunder shook the rafters, and the floorboards turned to cold. I heard boots cross through the kitchen, heard that pocket watch unfold. Then a voice behind the wallpaper said the water's coming fast. I struck a match and saw my father standing waist deep in the past. Now the flood mark on the wall climbs an inch each time it rains. Mama's flowers bend toward the window like they're listening for his name. I have packed one dress and Bible, but I know before I'm gone that the river leaves a witness witness, and the witness carries on. At sunrise, Harlan County found the house without a door, just a pocket watch still ticking on the muddy kitchen floor. Reverend Cole preached every Sunday from a pulpit built of pine, with honey on his breakfast biscuit and damnation on his mind. By July the church stood empty, but a low hymn filled the hall, not from any living choir, from the bees inside the walls. Hear the bees inside the walls, working where the daylight ends. They make their honey out of secrets, wax and scripture, blood and sin. You can smoke them from the rafters, you can tear the plaster down, but the bees inside the walls know what fed this hungry town. When the mill closed, government flour came by rail. Coal kept half beneath the chapel, sold the rest beyond the veil, while the children chewed on cornbread thin enough to see the plate. He bought glass for every window and a silver garden gate. Hear the bees inside the walls, working where the daylight ends. They make their honey out of secrets, wax and scripture, blood and sin. You can smoke them from the rafters, you can tear the plaster down, but the bees inside the walls know what fed this hungry town. Golden calm fell at our feet. Every cell held scraps of paper, family names and pounds of wheat. Then the swarm rose round the pulpit, blackened every window pane. Cole ran barefoot through the graveyard, calling mercy by its name. Now the bees have left the walls, but their honey won't turn sweet. It tastes of empty winter cupboards and the children cold deceived. We poured every jar upon his grave, watched it soak into the ground, and the bees inside the walls built their kingdom farther down. Come spring, no flowers touch the churchyard, no birds settle on the cross, but beneath Reverend Cole's headstone, something golden dripped like loss. station closed in '97. They pulled the timetable away, but Amos Reed still sweeps the platform at the dying of each day. He wears his father's railroad jacket, keeps one lantern trimmed and bright, though no train has crossed Bellwether in 20 years of night. Keep the red lantern burning, let it bleed against the rain. There's a dead upon the crossing, there's a name beneath the train. When the whistle shakes the valley and the dogs begin to cry, keep the red lantern burning, somebody's coming by. Amos had a boy named Daniel, wild as summer, barely grown. They fought beside the ticket window. Daniel swore he'd leave alone. Amos heard the midnight engine, saw his son out on the line. But pride can hold a man like iron, while mercy loses time. Keep the red lantern burning, let it bleed against the rain. There's a dead upon the crossing, there's a name beneath the train. When the whistle shakes the valley and the dogs begin to cry, keep the red lantern burning, somebody's coming by. Last October near the signal, Amos found a muddy shoe and a ticket punched for nowhere, dated 1992. Then a young voice from the darkness said, "Daddy, wave me through." Amos raised the lantern, trembling, and the dead rails started to move. Now the red lantern is burning where the station used to stand. There are two men on the platform, one is reaching for a hand. When the whistle shakes the valley, no one dares to question why. The red lantern stops burning when the morning train goes by. At sunrise, folks found Amos' jacket folded neatly by the track, and two sets of footprints in the cinders, but neither one came back. The county fair closed 20 years ago, but one wheel still turns in the weeds. Its white paint peeled, its cables moan, its seats rock empty in the breeze. I worked the gate that final summer, tore blue tickets one by one. My little sister climbed aboard just before the storm clouds come. Ferris wheel turns at midnight, though the power lines are down. Round and round above the thistles, high above this sleeping town. Every Every seat comes back empty. Every chain cries out her name. The Ferris wheel turns at midnight, and I'm the one who walked away. Lightning struck the cottonwood. The midway lost its light. Folks ran blind through mud and canvas, calling children in the night. I heard her voice above the thunder. Brother, don't you leave me here. But fear can make a coward holy when he kneels to it in fear. The Ferris wheel turns at midnight. Though the power lines are down, round and round above the thistles, high above this sleeping town. Every seat comes back empty. Every chain cries out her name. The Ferris wheel turns at midnight, and I'm the one who walked away. Tonight I brought her a yellow sweater, still folded in a cedar chest. Laid it on the ticket counter where she used to stop and rest. Then the calliope began playing one slow hymn beneath the rain, and a small hand took my ticket from the dark behind the pane. Now the Ferris wheel turns slowly and one seat is coming down. There's a yellow sleeve still waving high above the sleeping town. I can hear my sister laughing like the night she disappeared. The Ferris wheel stops at midnight and the empty seat is here. Morning found the gate wide open with 2 tickets in the clay. One was dated 20 years ago. One was stamped today. Black dog waits at the county line where the pavement turns to stone. Mud dried hard along his ribs, a freight rope hanging low. He never barks at passing trucks, never follows anyone. But when my headlights touch his eyes, he turns toward where I'm from. That black dog knows the road, every ditch and every flame. He keeps 10 steps ahead of me like guilt that learned my name. I can cross another border, I can drive till morning shines, but that black dog knows the road back across the county line. Town's red fireman coat the night the Benson farmhouse burned. Mrs. Benson screamed, "My boy's upstairs," but I saw where the floorboards turned. Old man Benson kept his payroll in a box Beneath the stairs I carried out $3,000 while the child was breathing there. That black dog knows the road, every ditch and every flame. He keeps 10 steps ahead of me like guilt that learned my name. I can cross another border, I can drive till morning shines, but that black dog knows the road back across the county line. Bought a used Ford pickup, a wedding ring, a patch of ground, but smoke came through the bedroom vent whenever rain was coming down. My wife would ask what woke me, I'd say the dog outside again. She never saw him by the fence, only ashes on my hands. Now the black dog leaves the roadside, walks beside me through the gate. The Benson place is weeds and chimney, but one upstairs window waits. I lay the money in the doorway, though the bills are black with time, and the black dog climbs the staircase as the church bell strikes 9. At dawn they found my truck still running, driver's door thrown open wide. 2 trails across the burned out garden, one in boots and one in fire. The grain mill closed in '82, when rust stayed through the stairs. Still every dust, the northmost silo, breeze warm into the air. Old Jonah Pike sits by the cornfield with a shotgun on his knees, while a hymn comes through the sheet metal, though the night has got no breeze. There are hymns inside the silo, low and buried in the grain. Voices rise when summer lightning walks its fingers through the plain. Jonah says, don't sing beside it, don't let heaven hear your tone. There are hymns inside the silo, and one voice sounds like my own. My sister joined the traveling revival in the spring of '79. Wore a blue dress Mama made her, sang Abide with me each night. The preacher left before the harvest, said she'd followed him down south, but Jonah found her silver songbook with wheat dust in its mouth. There are hymns inside the silo, low and buried in the grain. Voices rise when summer lightning walks its fingers through the plain. Jonah says, don't sing beside it, don't let heaven hear your tone. There are hymns inside the silo, and one voice sounds like my own. with a songbook in my coat. Every wrong began to tremble when I sang her opening note. Then the grain below me shifted, though the silo had been dry, and Joan shouted from the cornfield, "Girl, your sister never died." Now the hymns inside the silo shake the crows out of the trees. One voice begs the Lord for mercy, one is calling after me. Jonah dropped his gun at sunrise, said I kept her here alone. And the hymns inside the silo changed his name into a moan. The county tore the silo open, found nobody in the grain. Only one blue dress still hanging, dry and clean against the rain. After we buried my father, I came back to settle the land. The barn leaned into the north wind. The wheat broke dry in my hands. Out past the rusted windmill, where the south field turned to stone, a scarecrow wore his Sunday coat, the one he'd never loaned. That scarecrow in my father's coat keeps pointing toward the gate. One arm raised toward the county road, one bent beneath the weight. The crows won't land beside him, the cattle won't come close. There's more than straw still standing in my father's Sunday coat. A family worth that acreage when I was 10 years old. A mother, 2 young daughters, and a boy named Samuel Cole. Daddy claimed they stole his money, sent the sheriff after them. They left their supper on the table and were never seen again. The scarecrow in my father's coat keeps pointing toward the gate. One arm raised toward the county road, one bent beneath the weight. The crows won't land beside him, the cattle won't come close. There's more than straw still standing in my father's Sunday coat. Coat down at sundown, found 4 names sewn in the seam, and a courthouse receipt for 40 acres folded underneath the sleeve. The Coles had bought the Southfield, Daddy forged the final page. Then the scarecrow turned behind me, though the air was still as gray. Now the scarecrow wears no clothing, that black coat hangs on my door. I nailed the rightful deed beside it for whoever comes once more. But every night across the stubble, Four shadows crossed the road, and something made of wheat and wire knocks beneath my father's coat. At dawn the south gate stood wide open, though I chained it twice before. Four sets of footprints crossed the wheat field, and mine stopped at the door.